Hi, welcome to Hearty Conversations with us. We're talking about everything surrounding mental health, mental illness, and today we are Marita, Ree, and
Remember Gabrielle Paul.
yeah.
I'm Shrinky.
Yeah, so our topic today is stigma. What
So
does
it's a
stigma
deep
mean
one.
to you?
Stigma. So I'm an overachiever, so I had to Google the dictionary definition. So, what I got was the WHO definition, which is it's a negative association that people have towards people with a certain health condition. Yes. So that's we are the ones who used to read all the books in the class. We are the ones who they shout out stop reading. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, who didn't Google? Oh, who came first? Stigma. I think stigma is a certain disgrace associated to something, something that is of dishonor, something that has a negative connotation to something. Yeah, and when it comes to mental health, this comes up so often, so often.
That's very true. That's very, very true. I think now the next thing would be how have you experienced stigma in your life?
So first of all, for me, one of the biggest types of stigma is self-stigma. I fight with self-stigma a lot. Like, it's so easy to point the finger, oh, the church has stigma, the workplace has stigma, school has stigma. But I feel like even ourselves, we have a lot of stigma. Like, whenever I relapse, I judge myself so harshly. I'm now like, now what will I amount to? Every time I'm the one who's sick. But now people are tired of bringing right now.
Such a redundant thing.
Please, my friends, bring me right then. Don't tire.
Don't get tired.
Yeah, so for me, self-stigma is a thing, and I beat myself up so much. So when I relapse, I go into hiding or I lie about it. When people ask, are you okay? I immediately say, I'm okay, because I don't want them to know what I'm going through. Yeah.
Similar to you, really. I think the biggest stigma I fought with is self-stigma. That's it's like a whole situation, because when I was first diagnosed, you know, when you hear about mental illness, like you sort of prepare yourself for what everybody else is going to say. So I was so ready, like whoever said anything, I'll be like, hey, like I was ready. I had my armor ready. And then when it was me who was saying the things, I was like, hey, you mean? They didn't tell me this one when we were reading, when we were Googling, they didn't tell this one.
Yeah.
So I think it's really only just now that I'm learning how to combat the different things that I've said to myself that have been stigmatizing.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I didn't even know it was. I don't know if it was, maybe what do they call it, sugar-coated the whole situation. And I made it seem like, because I was hating myself, I made it seem like everyone was hating me. Yet everyone was just doing their own thing.
Yeah, sometimes they're really trying.
Yeah.
But it's so hard for someone else to convince you to come out of a despair that you haven't accepted that you're in. So you just
write that one down.
You just immediately feel like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I think a second stigma I really faced was stigma with the church. Like, for me, I felt like church was the place where I was going to go to and get comforted. Like, the Lord is going to be there for you. Keep pushing. Aye! Someone told me those are demons. You have to cast them out, and then I think you're not praying enough. And then have you tried to worship it away? Like sis, we're in the same group yesterday. You said your child had malaria and they were in hospital.
Did we worship away the malaria?
hospital, you have a big problem with my worshiping and my
Yeah.
prayer life. Like, what's up? What's going on? Yeah, so I faced a lot of church stigma, and I think I decided to step away for the longest time. I've just started going, and it's for fellowship. Yeah, that was like 3 weeks ago. I started going. Yeah, slowly by slowly, and I kept saying I'll go back because it was an experience. I was experiencing the church and not experiencing God. So
That's
yeah,
a big one.
yeah, so for me, I have learned to draw the line between the two. And you know, at church, it's different. Like, somebody can say something and you're like, you bitch.
Yeah, right? You can't come for
Forget
me.
my language. You can't
You
come
can't
for
come
them.
for them. You have to.
Like, yeah, you
We
have
are
to.
in the spirit.
We are in the spirit. We are in the spirit. And sometimes I'm like, dear Lord, give me 1 minute. 1 minute with this person. But like, yeah, I face a lot of church stigma.
But you make a very, very good point. I didn't face as much. I think when I was first diagnosed, the church was kind of trying to become progressive. So people were kind of starting to understand. And also, I think a lot of that, my parents were, I mean, they were not like 100% welcoming, but at least they never told me, go and jump. Okay, I mean, okay, they were supportive to an extent.
Yeah.
So, for example, when I first needed to go see a psychiatrist, I didn't have to bargain with them a lot. I just told my mom, hey, this is what's happening, and she said, okay, let's go see a psychiatrist. So, and my parents are the first picture of the church that I have. So the church stigma was not as bad, but I do get what you're saying. I remember there was a time I was having a conversation with someone, and they were telling me how, because I have a blog, so I had written on my blog, I used to take pills, the antidepressants, yada yada. So he tells me, I was also taking antidepressants, but I prayed about it and I felt in my spirit, God, I needed to trust God, so I stopped taking my medicine. He was like giving me tips and tricks type thing. And I remember listening to him and being like, and I think because had I not been, there was like an element of security, like I knew I needed this medicine, but had I not been secure in my, not secure in my diagnosis, but sort of in a place where I can withstand what people say, then I was able to say, okay, this is not good advice, let me continue taking my medicine. But another stigma that people don't talk about, but also the stigma in the African setting.
Yes.
Because as you can tell, we are all African women here. And Africans, I think, I don't know why they don't understand it.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's because, but really anyway, I think it's because it's sort of like a new age thing. People are sort of just realizing, your mind also, it's not just headache. Sometimes you can be sad.
Yeah.
So, because I remember, because I was in class sometime, and we were doing medical psychology. And one of my classmates, I don't know what he was talking about. I think he was talking about how people's mental health is affected by their brain chemistry, by their social surroundings. So he was saying all these things. Then one of my classmates said, man, what, black people can't have these things. These are white people problems. And that was before I had come out publicly about my diagnosis. So I kind of just like shrunk, and I was like, now I know who not to tell.
Yeah.
So I think that's also another form of stigma that people have to go through. Yeah.
But even in the stigma that comes with getting help, I have had so many people WhatsApp me, text me that, hey, I really need to get help, but my parents don't understand it. My family does not understand it. They just think I'm being dramatic. They just think I'm being too much. They just think like all these things are all in your head. Like, okay, it's in our heads. It's a mental illness. But I think there's a lot of work to do around it. I remember one of the things that stood out for me around stigma is when a friend decided to push me to Butawika for my review. So we're getting on our borders, because man, that drive in that jam is
It's a whole other story.
It's a whole thing. So we tell the guy, Sebo, Butabika, like, sir, take us to Butabika. Then the guy looked at us.
Sort of like getting you up and down.
Man told me, hey, Mwala, only one did know kuwa mutabu for. Like, you're too pretty to be mad. And I paused, but I had reached a point where I was somehow used to the comments and I was used to like letting them sleep because most of them don't know what they're doing or they don't know what they're saying. But my friend wanted to fight. Oh, Gabriel, how?
I was like, how dare you?
How dare you? Like, and I was in that space of let's just go, let's get another border if you're so hard, and we go. But like, yeah, I think on your journey to healing, you reach a space where you know what to react to and what not to react to. Because you can't fight everybody who's stigmatizing against you. You fight your neighbor, you fight the pastor, you fight yourself, the border man. Hey! Just sign yourself up for taekwondo and we know who's a fighter. Yeah.
Love that. Let's first laugh at that. Okay, now we can be serious again.
Yeah, so what are your closing remarks about stigma? How do you respond towards it now? What tips would you give to somebody who is just new in this thing, who has just been diagnosed? And yeah, they're going through the whole process of stigma.
Well, first of all, I would want to start by saying, like, I hear you, and I hear you in the sense of it can be very hard. It can be very hard. And sometimes you can feel like, am I lying to myself?
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yeah.
What they told me? Sometimes you can feel like that. So I think I would want to tell them, like, I hear you. And your feelings are valid. Your feelings, with regard to whether you're feeling sad, whether you're feeling anxious, whether whatever is happening with your mental health is valid, and it's not a lie. Let's start there. It's not a lie. And you as an individual, you have a right to ask for help, and you have a right to tell people, hi, you know what? Me, when I get, like, you have a right to say, this is not how I'm supposed to live my life. Another thing I would like to say is, I mean, it can be very hard because even me as a person, I struggle with it, but you need a safe space. You need at least one person who you can go to and tell them, so today, I didn't have any energy and I didn't do anything. And they won't say, have you prayed? Or they won't say, but you have always seen you've always been lazy.
Ever since we are young,
you never used to sweep, right? You walked late, you talked late. Now you're telling us So you need to have someone who will understand and there'll be like a safe place, a place where you can go and you don't have to be strong. You don't have to fight everyone. You don't have to da. And for the general public, I think another thing that's important to note is that mental health is real. Like, we are not pretending. We are not lying when we say, I have depression, or I have PTSD, or I have an anxiety disorder. We are not lying. Like, there is genuinely something that is happening in our brains, and it's not right. I remember the first time I got on my medication, I was like, you mean people can just walk around and they're happy? You mean people can just walk around and they're not wondering when will I die?
Concentrate
right?
A chore and do it.
And you do it without saying, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I was like, you mean in this world we are just walking around guilt-free, we are happy, we can start jumping? So guys, even if no one has ever told you, let me tell you, me as me, it's very real. Mental health is very real. Mental illnesses are very real, and mental struggles are very real. And just because it's not been your struggle doesn't mean you should invalidate mine. And even if every day you see me sleeping in my bed, every day you see me I'm just eating sweets, and I come and tell you I'm sad, don't tell me why you're eating sweets. You just nod and say, how can I help you? Don't start telling me, I told you to exercise in the morning, stuff like that.
I know.
So basically, the struggle is real, and we are here as people who have mental illnesses, we are saying, I mean, we can also function in society. Outside of this, we are very functional individuals. But yeah.
Yeah, to leave a star, you can.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? We even have a camera. So
Anyway, for me, for those who are struggling with self-stigma, be kind to yourself, and your body is doing the best it can do. Offer it some grace, Barbie. It has shown up for you up to this point, and yeah, just be gracious to it. And for those who stigmatize others, everybody has a brain. The fact that you have a brain means that you can get an illness at any given time. Just like if the mosquitoes, anyone can be bitten at any time, and you can get malaria. You never know. But be kind, be kind, be kind. Yeah, kindness goes a long way. I keep saying love is a whole healing language. Yeah, so be kind, love on your people, and yeah, I feel like that's going to be a solution to the stigma that happens in the long run around us. Yeah, from us to you, we are sending you so much love and light. But what are you
and
saying?
kindness. No, but by guys, if you forget everything, just be kind, because it can all be summarized in be kind to people. Just because you can't imagine a world where you would be sad doesn't mean, like, be kind, be courteous, be understanding, try to see, like, don't just be mean.
Yeah. See you next time.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.